What's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming back to my channel. Hope everybody's having a good day today. It's a little cold and snowy here. I woke up today and I look outside, there's snow on the ground. I'm like, really? It's like one day it's 70 and sunny, the next day, you look out, it's, 38 and snowing. So, yeah, it is what it is. But it is going to be warmer this weekend, so I can't wait for that. And hope everybody's having like I said, hope everybody's having a good day today, having a good week. And hope everybody had a good Easter. I had a good Easter here at my house. We just had a couple family members over and ate some good food and had a good time and just relaxed, enjoyed Easter. And hope you guys had the same. But on Easter, there was a great basketball game, the Nets and the Celtics. And that's what I want to get right into is the Nets and Celtics series because I think that's the best series right now. Might end up being the best series in the entire playoffs is that matchup right there. Just two East Coast big cities, the energy, the crowd. You got Kyrie giving people the finger. You got, oh boy, you got, just the matchup itself. The Celtics defense is just really good. I didn't know it was that good because I haven't really watched a lot of the Celtics this year, but I know they got hot late. They got a little healthier, made some good trades, and they're a really good team, man. It's typical Celtics basketball. They get up and down the court, they press, they really hard on defense. They just make it really difficult. It's a tough environment to play in. It's really loud, great fans. I've actually been to that arena once. I got a lot of family from Boston area, and one time I went to the Celtics game versus the Cavs. Actually, it's in 2012. My grandfather took me to the game, and it was a cool experience just to go to a historic arena like that. You walk in there, you look up, you see Larry Bird's number, you see Kevin McHale, you see Bill Russell, you see Robert Parrish, you see all the banners, all those guys. It's unbelievable. The floor, the parquet floor, just the tradition. If you're a basketball fan, that's like myself. That's a place you definitely want to go and check out. It was awesome. It was really cool to really go and see that arena in person and just all the history and tradition. And I always like watching games there, big games. And, I'm a Cavs fan, so we had a lot of battles there. If you watch LeBron throughout the years, he's had a lot of battles in the Garden. And now watching this series here, this is great. Like I said, two East Coast. You got Brooklyn versus, New York basically versus Boston. So it's going to be a wild series. The first game was wild, came right down to the buzzer. Jason Tatum with a little spin move from a nice pump fake and pass from Marcus Smart. And just a wild finish. It really could have went either way. It really comes down just the little details and just every second counts in those kind of games. Every single play, especially down the stretch, you cannot make any errors. And I think where Brooklyn messed up was they hit that big three to go. It was 114 to 111 to go up three, and then Boston, Jaylen Brown just goes right down the court, just scores an easy layup. And I'm just like, well, you can't allow that. You got to get back on defense. You got to try to get a stop there. You're up. You just hit a big three. You got all the momentum. The crowd's quiet, and you let them just go right down and get a quick, easy basket, which is what they want. They want to go out and get a quick basket, try to get a stop, so they get the last shot of the game to 2 for 1. And Brooklyn, I don't know. They need to clean that up. They didn't get back a lot of defense a lot in that game. I think it kind of killed them a lot. I don't know what the fast break points were. Maybe they get up down the court too, but. They got to play better defense. I think they need to get Andre Drummond involved a little bit more. Let him run the floor. They got to have some type of paint presence. That ain't gonna work. What they're trying to do. I know what they're doing. They're basically running the Suns' offense. You got Steve Nash. You got Amari Stoudemire. You got D'Antoni all on the same staff. They're running that 7-second quick offense, which just space out the floor, jack up. A lot of pick and roll, a lot of one-on-one, a lot of just quick shots. Which can work. They have the talent. They got two of the best scorers in the league. But, I do think they need to... You got to have some type of paint or interior presence. You can't get killed on the boards. You got to be able to block, protect the rim. You got to be able to just... You can't get out-rebounded badly. I expect Brooklyn... I'd be interested to see what they do in tomorrow night's game. How they come back and respond to that. And... curious to see what Boston does too, because I feel like Boston played a pretty perfect game for them. that's as good. I mean, they did. They start out the fourth quarter really bad. That's something I'm sure they want to clean up. But I don't know. I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, Boston has the deeper team, but the Nets have the two best players on the court, in my opinion. And Jason Tatum's a phenomenal player. Maybe you could make the argument Jason Tatum's better than Kyrie. I wouldn't take Jason Tatum over Kyrie. That's just me. I trust Kyrie more because you saw what he did in the fourth quarter. He could do that anytime. I mean, I trust Kyrie. I've seen Kyrie do it in big moments all the time. And you got Kevin Durant. He does in big moments all the time too. I think that's probably, in my opinion, the two best closers in the league on one team. So we'll be interested to see what Boston does. I think Jason Tatum is going to do his thing. I think Jaylen Brown is going to be really key. I think they need him to come out next game, probably give him, he's got to get around 20, 25 points at least, I think. Because the Nets are probably going to really trap Tatum more. They're going to throw a lot, blitz Tatum more on defense. So I think Jaylen Brown, he's going to have to have a big game probably every game the rest of the series because the Nets are going to make adjustments. And, I'd like to see Jaylen Brown. I think it's going to have to be big. And then the other guys are going to have to step up when they get their opportunity. Derek White, who else they got? Al Horford. Some of those guys, they're going to have to step up and make some plays when needed. They might have to go on some spurt. Marcus Smart, who he did go on a spurt, I believe, in the third or fourth quarter, like 11 points that quarter in the third. So they're going to have to need that more and more because, and same thing with the Nets. It's really going to come down to, the two guys are going to do their thing for the Nets. I know Kevin Durant had an off game. I think they didn't really help him out, the coaching staff. I think they should have took Kyrie off the ball more and took Kevin off the ball a little more. Did a little more just, coming off screens, maybe dribble handoff, stuff like that. And they got to take the pressure off Kevin Durant and Kyrie, especially Kevin Durant, because they're really, every time he touches the ball, they're really getting physical with him. The Grant Williams guy, they did a really good job getting physical with KD. But they got to take the pressure off him. They got to take Kyrie off the ball more, maybe play Patty Mills a little bit more. And I would say even play LaMarcus Aldridge a little bit more. Because LaMarcus Aldridge can space out the floor. He could shoot. He could hit the mid-range. I think they need to play LaMarcus Aldridge a little bit more. And he has experience, too. They need to open up the rotation a little bit more if I'm Steve Nash. That's what I would do personally. But I'm interested in that series. I think it's going to be a great series. It has a chance to be a classic series. Every game could go like that. It's that close. It's the margin of error in that series is razor thin. And plus with the crowd. And, I thought that was interesting, too, with Kyrie. I like Kyrie. I'm a big Kyrie fan. I had his back all year. Just because I agreed with him. If you want to, I'm not going to talk about that kind of stuff, obviously. But, I believe in choice, and I respected Kyrie for what he did. Some people didn't like him. I know there's people in the media that tried to trash him all year and, call him half a man and call him all kinds of crazy things, which is kind of weird to me. But, I respected Kyrie, and ultimately in the end, he prevailed, and he stood his ground and he won. Now he's playing every game. And but I do think Kyrie, I don't know what the fans, obviously there's a history between him and the Boston fans. They don't like him because he left, and I don't think he ever really wanted to be there anyways. So he just was traded there. If you go back and look, when he requested a trade in 2017, Boston wasn't even on the list. It was like Miami and the Nets, I think the Lakers maybe, or just teams like that. And Boston wasn't even on his list. And so I don't think he ever wanted to be there to begin with. But when he left, obviously the fans weren't happy. That's a great fan base up there. Obviously, the Celtics are a traditional franchise, and they let you hear it if you leave, and and so I think, I don't know what they were saying to Kyrie. Somebody must have said something just really over the line, or maybe it's just maybe Kyrie, that's just all the last 9 months, just all the crap he's taken from the media, and just he probably hears it from fans. I'm sure fans yell stuff about that when he's out on the court, just all kinds of things. And I think he just, that moment he flicked the fans off, I think he just let his emotions just really get the best of him come out. I don't think you should never flick the fans off, no matter what they say. 95% of the fans are great. It's like Charles Barkley said after the game. 95% of the fans are great, and you got 5 idiots you like to go out back and beat the hell out of them. But other than that, it's typical fan, and you should expect that in Boston. Places like Boston, Philly, Cleveland, where I'm from. I mean, those fan bases are going to let you hear it. They don't care. They have no filter. But that's part of it. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it a great atmosphere. And so I think Kyrie is he's got to let some things go. I think just keep. Now he did play a hell of a game, and I think maybe have like 38 points. He really went off in the fourth quarter, and I think a lot of that he used his anger into the game. And I think he needs to keep doing that. Just keep, just talk with your play. That's what you do. Yeah, I mean, guys chirp with fans, good fan talk all the time. It always goes on talking to fans courtside or whatever. But you can't do that, because if I'm Kyrie, I look at it like they're going to use that against you. Anything Kyrie does, he's so under the microscope right now for the last 9 months. People in the media just literally hate this guy. That's what it seems like. People in general really hate this guy for his stance. And any little thing he does will be used against him. And so I think he's got to be... I wouldn't give people the finger. I would just focus on what I got to do in the game and just talk with your play. And then when the series is over and you send them home, then you can talk a little bit more. But other than that, I wouldn't... It was funny watching it. And, it is what it's not the end of the world, I don't think. But you still shouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I just think to me, that looked like just a guy, just all the emotion, the 9 month, this whole season, all the stuff he's went through, and then going in that type of environment, just hearing all that, maybe just it all came out right there and flicked the fan off. But I still wouldn't do it, like I said, and I think hopefully he just keeps playing like he did in that fourth quarter and just really talk with your play, because if he does that and KD gets back to his usual self, doesn't have that slump, then that team's going to be really hard for Boston to stop those two guys, because then the other guys will start to get more opportunities, especially if they use Drummond more and use Aldridge more, get in the paint more. Then you got guys like Patty Mills, all those guys will get open threes, Seth Curry. So, that's how I view it. And I can't wait to watch the rest of the series. Like I said, it's going to be a great series, just a great atmosphere in both arenas. And, yeah, man, I'm excited about that. That's really the only series I'm really watching right now. I've watched Golden State. Denver can't keep up with Golden State. Golden State just moves the ball too well. Their system, defensively, offensively, they cut, they pass, they hit, they got all the shooters. They play just beautiful basketball. And they're going to be a tough out for anybody, especially with this Jordan Poole kid playing as well as he's playing. Just a whole nother boost to that team that they didn't have. And so, we'll see what happens with Golden State. It's really tough everywhere. Both conferences. You got Golden State and Phoenix out west. I'm trying to think. I would say those are probably the two best teams, in my opinion, unless maybe I'm forgetting somebody. But I think those are the two best teams. That's probably your Western Conference Finals right there. And then out east, it's wide open. It is... It's easy to say for me, I like Brooklyn going into the year if they were fully healthy, because I like those two guys a lot. But I don't know if they have the complete team this year, especially with Simmons still out and all these guys. I'm thinking, Milwaukee's really tough. Philly's going to be a tough out, the way he's playing. Miami's always a tough out because Miami just plays great basketball defensively. They cause a lot of problems. They really slow teams down too. Miami's really good at slowing teams down and making them adjust. It's Pat Riley. That's what he's passed down to Eric Spoelstra. That's the Heat culture. That's their style of play. Tough defense. They really slow you down, and they clog the paint really well, and it makes it really tough for opponents. And so, especially if they match up with Milwaukee in the next round, I think that's going to be a really good series. See how the adjustments go and all that. And trying to think who else in the East. I can't really, those teams. I always feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Maybe not. But, yeah, Miami, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Boston. Yeah, Boston. I already talked about Boston. And Philly. Those 5 teams. It's wide open, really. I would say out of those 5, though, I'd probably take Miami the least because Miami, I don't think, has the. I mean, they have Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, Bam, but I don't know if they have the offensive firepower to keep up with those other teams. Those other teams have guys that can literally go out and get 40 points any night on those other 4 teams. And so that's where I think Miami kind of falls short. Miami's just a good team ball. And but, who knows? You never know what happens. And so that's my take on the playoffs right now. And that's kind of what I'm watching. I'm trying to watch more of the games, all the games every night. Just keep an eye on what's going on. I like playoff basketball. And so that's how I see it right now, man. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I can't wait for that game too. Maybe the winner of this Nets Celtics series will be the team that comes out of the East. That might be how it goes. I don't know. I mean, but yet again, like I said, Milwaukee's really good. I like Milwaukee a lot. They're really good team. Giannis, and then they got the other 2 guys, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton. They got a lot of good support around them. So I like those teams as well. And I like Philly, although I think Philly's they're a little up and down at times. And then I like Boston's team too. So we'll see what happens, man. But I know some of you guys maybe watch this probably don't know anything about basketball, so I'm not going to bore you with that all day. And so, now transition to more, kind of update on myself and how everything's going. And, I've been doing pretty well. Like I said, I've felt a lot lighter since the beginning of this month when I first started this podcast. And I think right now I'm getting to the point where, I remember I said anxiety is a habit. And a lot of those old habits I used to do, I'm doing them less and less. I'm creating new habits, who I really want to be, and being free. And so it's kind of like that last stretch almost to really break through. And the guy who I always talk about, the anxiety guy, he has a video, and it's called Why the Last 15% of Healing. Anxiety is the hardest. And he talks about, reacting the same like we always do, because we feel like the ways we always reacted, that equals safety. And just, there's a lack of understanding too that, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, you could be really on track, but your body physically is the last thing to catch up. That's always the last thing to catch up is your body and the healing. And a lot of times we forget about that because we feel fatigue, sensations, and we think, oh man, is something wrong? That's why, I'm been battling that this week. And I think that, and just also your perceptions have to change. Perceptions of how you perceive your symptoms, if you get symptoms or thoughts, or you react and you respond instead of reacting like you used to. The key is really to just, it's like vibrational momentum. It's energetic. It's energy. What do you put your energy into? If you put a lot of energy, let's say I'm going through my day and I get a symptom of anxiety, like a headache or something, and my energy goes to react like I need to what's going on here? I need to figure out why I feel like this. I need to respond to this immediately. I need to figure this out. When really you should just guide that energy in towards more external. Don't internalize everything, and that's something I'm still working on a lot. I think I'm getting a lot better, but that awareness, going back and watching that video, is really helping me, that awareness, because I can sit and think, okay, this is what I'm doing less of, that I need to do more of, and like responding and not responding in a way where it's less impulsive and less adrenaline. It's limited to almost no emotional anything emotion to that response. And what I'm saying is, when I get that symptom, or if I get that thought or something, I don't put as much emotion, or if at all, any into it. So basically, I'm not internalizing that symptom or thought of anxiety like I used to. And what I do is take that energy and put it more external. So maybe get on the phone and call somebody. Uh, Maybe go outside and do something you like. Like for me, maybe I'll go outside and do something out around the house. The springtime, get the stuff, yard and stuff ready, or go shoot basketball, go work out, go ride a bike. Do something make you that keeps you externally engaged. Maybe say hi to your neighbor or something. You guys get what I'm saying. Be more externally engaged and don't internalize everything. And it's hard, and that's something I'm struggling with. But I think what makes it hard is the most is you're so fearful of all the trauma you went through in your past, all the panic attacks, just everything. It's almost like a distrust in yourself because you fear all that coming back. And that's something I've noticed. I sometimes, when I'm at night, maybe I wake up in the middle of the night or periodically throughout my day, I'm doing really well now, but I'll still get like a thought or just a flashback of something like, it's like, hey, remember what happened last time you were going in this situation. Remember what happened last time, and you had bad panic attack, and remember how bad it was, and just how scary it was, and just how painful it felt, and you kind of fear all that coming back again, and that's kind of where I am is fearing it all coming back. But I think a lot of that too is we're so, at least for myself, I focus on the future too much sometimes, and I try to get out ahead of things to prepare myself. And yes, you want to prepare yourself and be ready in case you get in a situation. Okay, I might have a panic attack, might have a little anxiety, but don't put too much baggage into that. Don't put so much into that. Focus on your progress. Focus on what you've been through. Focus on how far you've come. Focus on what you're doing right now. And that's something I had to really be aware of this week, especially the last couple of days, to really refocus myself. And it's a lot. It's relief because it's good clarity, and it's good to really be honest with myself and tell myself, okay, this is what I need to focus on more, on my progress. And yes, I'm making plans now. I'm not doing what I used to. I'm not sitting in the house like I used to and just hiding and so I can cope with my anxiety all night. I'm making plans now. I'm going over people's houses. I'm planning lunches with people. I'm doing things now. I'm challenging. I'm taking myself where I want to be. And so, yes, I'm prepared to, if I go in some of those situations, I might have a little anxiety because it's going to feel uncomfortable maybe at first. But I surround myself with, people that know me. Everybody knows what I go through now, especially after that first video. So it's like I don't have to hide it anymore. But I'm also around people that are, make me laugh, have a good time, and some people I'll be hanging around. Like I made plans this weekend, and because this weekend people in my house have other plans. So what I did was I said, you know what, I'm not going to sit here like I used to and just we're thinking my back of my head about what ifs and anxiety all weekend. I'm gonna go out and make plans, and that's what I did. So I made plans with people, and when I first made the plans, I was a little hesitant because my body wants me to just my old self. That, like I said, that little almost like that little nagging thought in your head says, wait a minute, you can't do that. You got to sit in your house like you used to. That's because we got to react the same way we always did, because the same way we always reacted, we equal that to safety, when in reality, it's not freedom. I want to be free. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm not sitting in my house anymore. I want to go out and live my life. I want to be who I want to be, who I really am. And so, I made plans, and, I got to a point where I watched that video. It really helped me, and just said, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. It's probably my worst fears never happened, and all I'm doing is just going and do what I want to do. Have fun, just relax, hang out, and eat some good food, and watch basketball, and, just if I have a moment, I have a moment. It's just a moment. But really, it's like I said earlier, I'm not going to put so much energy into that anymore. If I get a thought or a feeling, I'm going to redirect that to more external. I'm going to take that energy and put it into something positive that will help me in the moment. And so, that's kind of where I am right now, is just that awareness, and just you have to accept and just let go of that old self. And that's something that's I struggled with for a while, and I did still a little bit recently, but now I'm starting to really accept because I'm seeing the other side now. I'm seeing all the great things that I'm feeling, all the great things I'm doing, how much more freer I feel, much lighter I feel. Just, all my relationships I were kind of down for years are coming back, and I'm starting to reconnect with people again and get back to, my old self. But I would say my old self, just get back to just my new self, like my real self. This is who I really am. And it's been awesome. And, it's also been good too. Just, it's kind of been, I don't know how to say it, kind of surreal still, like I said, when I put out that first video, but it's that I've had people call me now or text me during the day, or, maybe they're going through a little anxiety or just, and I'd help them out. And, they're asking me for help. And I think that's like, really, like, it's kind of, I think it's awesome that my video and all the videos I've done, how it's helped people, and it's really helped me be more aware of myself as well. And what I mean by that is, like I had somebody call me over the weekend with just having real bad anxiety and panic, and they said something to me that really made me think of something in my own life that I never really thought of. And I really dug deep into it, and I figured out maybe a lot of reasons why I feel the way I do is because of a situation maybe when I was a child. That wasn't anybody's fault, but just, that's, you look back at things, you wonder, okay, why do I think this way? And it really goes back to a root cause. And the root cause, a lot of times, between the ages of 0 and 7. Not always, sometimes, but most of the time it is. So when you're a kid. And, I've really dug deeper again, and I figured out a lot of things, to reframe some things, and done a lot of, meditation, journaling, and just that awareness again, creating more awareness. And that awareness has helped me more and more to accept and let go, but also anchor myself more towards the direction I want to go in. And so that's kind of where I am right now. And I forgot about that. And that's something I knew for a while, is about when you're going through this healing journey, your body's the last to always catch up anytime. Always. Your body's the last thing to always catch up. And because your mind and your emotions are processed, and spiritually, obviously, I feel really good right now. I mean, I'm working more and more and more, getting back and reading my Bible, and just always talking to God more throughout the day, praying more, and just it's really giving me more peace. But the body has feeling. The body it goes off energy, and so that's why I'm saying be aware of what you put your energy into, and having that awareness that the body's the last to catch up, because the body is almost reconditioning itself to react to these new thoughts, emotions, and ideas, and so that's something I forgot for a while, because that's something I knew and it helped me back a couple years ago. But then once I had a setback again, I kind of just went downhill a little bit again. I don't say downhill, but just, back in that fight or flight mode, just survival mode, and just, but now I'm kind of getting out of that and heading towards probably the best I've ever been, really just healing once and for all. And just, honestly, healing once and for all. Healing never really ends. Healing becomes really just a lifestyle. I'm not coping anymore. I'm healing. Like, this is my lifestyle. This is who I am. This is my journey. This is the way of how I live my life. And these new habits, my speed throughout the day, just my flow. Doesn't mean everything's always perfect, but I'm just more neutral. Nothing's too high or too low. More neutral. And a lot of people try to go from really anxious and just hyper aware, just really sensitized, to, they try to go from A to C quickly. What really B in the middle is that neutral place. You got to get to the neutral place first to get the pleasant, which is C. So A is, really just really sensitized, really in fight or flight mode, survival mode, anxiety is really high. Get to that place of pleasant. To get to that place of pleasant, you have to get to neutral. And when you get to neutral, it's more of, okay, yeah, I still feel these kind of things. I still have some thoughts, but I accept them. I'm okay. I know what's true and what's not, and I'll be fine. And the more you do that, then eventually, that really, the more you show your body, show your mind, really show your body, like, hey, this is showing your old inner child, like, hey, this is what we do now. This is how it really is. This is the truth. This is what we do now. Then you get to that point of pleasant. And when you get to that point, now you're really where you want to be. And so, that's something I've going through right now. And I wanted to share with you guys, because I've heard a lot of people that have reached out to me. The people I've talked to recently, that's kind of seems like where a lot of people are. They're kind of just in that, we always try to look for the quick fix. And that's something I did for a long time, still do periodically. You look for that quick fix. You get a thought, you get a feeling, you look for that quick fix. But a lot of times you got to just let yourself just be and just ride the wave. And when you do that, you start to slowly build trust with your body, your mind. But you build trust with this new identity, your true self. And the more you do that, the more you start to become, to get to that pleasant. You get to neutral, and you get to that pleasant place. And so that's what I'm going through right now. And I love when people reach out to me, because people think tell me how much I'm helping them with my videos, but really, you guys are helping me. People reaching out to me or leaving comments, or people that, like I said, a lot of it's just been people that call me and reached out to me and texted me and let me know and asked me questions more about what I'm saying. You guys are helping me too, because you guys are helping keep myself in check. Also making sure I'm aware, I could see all these things that I know, all the knowledge I know about anxiety and healing anxiety. But when you guys reach out and ask me about it, it's a good reminder for myself as well, to make sure I'm still, keeping in line what I'm doing. And it's not that I'm anxiety 24/7, because I don't want to do that. You shouldn't be your sole focus is, anxiety. I think for a while I did that. It was like an information overload, and I just wore myself out. You can put too much in your head at one time. That's just keep it simple, day by day, make plans, live your life, and just go through with it, man. You know what I mean? And just understand that this is all a habit. This is a conditioning thing. That's all it is. And a lot of times the symptoms of things focus with your breathing. Because a lot of the symptoms are from tension that starts in your neck. And when you focus on your breathing, 4 seconds in, or 3 by 3, or 3, pause, 3 out, then you go to 4 and you keep extending it. The more you focus on your breath, then the more you have control. And that's why I think breath work is really powerful. And that's something I try to do a lot more of, is a lot of meditations and stuff. You do a lot of breath work, and you're also cycling out through your mind just the negative thoughts. The anxiety guy has a lot of great meditations. You're looking for one, go on his playlist on his YouTube. The meditations are reframing. They're great. But yeah, man, I mean, that's just where I am right now. And like I said, I appreciate you guys, because you guys are helping me as well. And we all help each other. That's what we're supposed to do. That's why I say community is important. Like, that's how God wants us to. I think that's how God designed us to be. We're supposed to be around our family. We're supposed to be around our friends. We're supposed to be, meeting new people. I've met people in the last 2 years that I didn't know, I never met before, but I've become almost closer with them than people I knew from my past, and becoming closer with them. And we have a lot in common too, with anxiety, and just, I don't say just anxiety, but just regular life, just in real life. We have a lot in common, and it's just part of that journey of life you go on, that God puts you through, that God has planned for you. And, it's never as bad as we think it is. And that's something I always keep in mind. A lot of my fears were just illusions. And like I said earlier, my worst fear has never happened. And so, knowing that and focusing on my progress, I think that awareness right there will just gives you so much clarity, and just helps slow you down and just relax and just know that everything's gonna be fine. And most importantly, God's never gonna give you more than you can handle. And just like the verse says, He'll never give you more than you can handle. And I found that out. I mean, I could say how many times I've thought of that verse, because all the times I thought my worst fear would happen, I don't even say it's in the hundreds, it's probably in the thousands. And, and I mean, 7 years, especially the last 7 years, I mean, just thousands of times I probably thought, oh man, this is it right here. How am I going to make it? Or I'm looking ahead, dreading the week, like, oh my gosh, this is so tough. How am I going to make it through? And then it never pans out to be what I thought it was. It actually turned out to be, a lot of times, it was a lot better than I thought it was. And it actually helped me grow. It was never, like I said in the last episode, there's wins and there's lessons. And I've had both. And both go hand in hand. I mean, a lot of the win, you got to go through those lessons a lot of times to learn. And you turn those lessons into wins. And that's something like I said, I've gone through. Not just in the hundreds, the thousands of times. It's so many times I've gone through that. And I always think of that verse when he'll never give you more than you can handle. And, God knows what is best for you at that time. And that's something that I think, myself included, we all forget sometimes. We're going through life. We get busy. We get emotional. We get angry. Whatever we're going through in life, we forget about that. But God will never give you more than you can handle, and He'll bring things in your life at the right time. 6, 7 years ago, I thought I had this plan for me in high school. I was going to go through my high school, go to college, and do all these things, meet new people, have a girlfriend, and all that, play sports. But God had a different plan. And for a while, it was hard for me to accept that. I look back and I was like, man, I didn't get to do what I always thought I was going to do. Did I miss out? Did I... I was in a place too, just a bad depression, where I'm in my house and I'm just watching. Basically, it's like the world goes by every day. I'm watching all the people I knew or once knew, and everybody's out living their life, and I'm like, why am I here? Why is my life like this? And almost like the victimhood mentality. And it took me a while to get out of that. It took me a while, but when I started to educate myself more, when I started to find people like Dennis, the anxiety guy, on YouTube, and started to connect with people that were in the same place or have been where I was, then I started to slowly get out. And then I started to also get my Bible more slowly and pray more. And I started to slowly see throughout the last 4 years that now I'm starting to see what God's plan for me was now, slowly. But I'm also realizing too that a lot of the stuff I thought I needed, I really didn't need. A lot of times, really, society, things we think we need or we have to have, we really don't need to have. All you need in life really is, I look at it as like this: 4 things: God, food, air, and water. Those are 4 things you need in life. Everything else is just thrown in there. But it's not. I am who I am. I'm not defined by what the outside world says I need to be or what I need to do. I'm defined by who God says I am. And I'm a born-again Christian, and that's who I am. I mean, that's another way to say it. And I'm on God's journey and plan He has for me. And my plan may be different than other people, but I accept it now because I love where I'm heading. I love who I'm becoming. And I like the timing. The timing has always worked out perfectly, too. It's always been when I least expected or when I needed it the most. He's always come through for me. And, and I'm going to keep going on this journey. And I'm going to keep sharing with you guys and helping you guys out and talk about other things, too, sports and current events and stuff like that. I'm working on this channel a little bit more. Like I said, I'm only a couple weeks into this, so I'm still learning a lot of things behind the scenes. I'm still planning a lot of things, talking to some people, and want to take this to the next level and help it grow more and more, but also it's always going to be the raw content, the raw me, and just being real and open with you guys. I think that's, like I said, my previous episodes, we're just craving authenticity right now. And so when I come up here, I want to be myself, and hopefully you guys, I like to get to know more of you guys as well. And there's people I've already known my whole life I've gotten to know them more in the last 2 weeks just from seeing my first video and them calling me and telling me, hey, I go through that too. And then we're just opening up to each other more. And it's great. And that's really key for me because For a while, I thought my mom and dad were my only, like, because they've seen me at my worst, in those worst moments. I'm like, well, I'm most comfortable around them. So if I get anxious, I can only be around them. But not really, because a lot of people that I know, they go through it as well. And, ultimately, at the end of the day, it starts with me. And I think one thing that you have to realize that I've learned recently is a lot of this journey is you have to get to a point where you're pleasantly alone. And that can be scary at first. But I think that's why it's key to have a spiritual side. For me, I know Christ is always with me. But also, when you start to be a little more vulnerable, you actually realize you're really never alone. Like, figuratively, there's always people around that will help you. At least for me, I have good support. But I think when you're just really open and honest, you're gonna find that outlet that you're looking for, through people or whatever it is. But you also have to get to that point where you're pleasantly alone, because ultimately the person that dictates how well you or how far you grow and where you want to get to, it starts with you. And that took me a while to figure that out. I was trying to focus on other things to help me on the outside, but I wasn't, putting the work in. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of things I knew on the outside, and a lot of things that, like medicines I was prescribed with and things like that, coping. But ultimately what helped me was when I started applying the information from like dentists and a lot of those things and challenging myself, putting myself out there, letting myself be vulnerable, not staying in that fight or flight state, because I feel like that little world I was in was safe, but it wasn't free. And real safety is being free, really. Staying in that little bubble isn't going to get you anywhere, really. You're just going to stay in that bubble, in that cycle your whole life. What kind of life is that? I don't want to live the way I used to live for the rest of my life. I'm not doing that. And that's key, too, is what I just said. Speaking in past presence. You speak differently now. Like, I'm not the person I used to be because I don't do the things I used to do, right? And so that's key as well. Again, all this awareness. And just energy. What do you put your energy into? And getting to a point of that self-empowerment, and also having good people around you. What people do you surround yourself with? Are the people that bring you down and make you more drained and and kind of gets that anxiety fueled up again? Or do you surround yourself with people that are somewhat like-minded? Not everybody's going to think like you, which is good. God made us all different for a reason. Because this world would be a boring place if we all thought the same. But what I'm saying is surround yourself with people that will help you grow, will help you with your healing. You help each other. It's like I've been saying, the people that have reached out to me, we're helping each other. We're helping each other grow. And I think that's so key. And that's why I always say, if you guys, whoever's listening to this, and maybe we haven't talked in years, or maybe we talked on and off, or maybe I know you well, whatever it is, feel free to reach out to me anytime. And whatever you're going through, with anxiety or just, I think people just need to know that somebody's there for them. And, a while for me is I had good support from my mom and dad and family members, but I needed to really put myself out there to somebody I never knew. I never met the anxiety guy. And I just Googled anxiety one day on YouTube and I found his page. And I'm just using this as an example. But you're going to find that person. You're going to find that outlet you're looking for. And just keep praying and keep trusting in God. And He's going to lead you to that place. And because I've been there. And like I said, if you're watching this, you never met me or we haven't talked in years, if you need help, just reach out to me. Like, it ain't weird. You're not, I won't look at you a certain way, or I'm not a shy person. Maybe sometimes these podcasts get a little boring. No, I'm just joking. But because I'm sitting there talking by myself, that's why I'm trying to grow this podcast a little more so it gets a little more energized. But for now, you guys, I'm just sitting and sharing my knowledge with you guys and just what I'm going through. People seem to like that for now. And so, but like I was saying, feel free to reach out to me, or anybody. Reach out to anybody. Just allow yourself to take that step and just speak and just let it out. It was like that first podcast I always talk about 2 weeks ago, or almost 3 weeks ago now. And, I just said, to hell with it. I'm going to the mic, and I'm just going to share it with the world, so I'm not containing it anymore. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, because I'm starting to see now how much more freer I am in my life. And just the last 2 weeks has just been incredible. Now, I still get, I'm still going through with my anxiety and somewhat, but like I said earlier, I'm in that phase now where I'm getting to that neutral place, and I'm understanding more that my body's the last to catch up. And if I had to name this episode today, I'd say it's just accepting and letting go. And that's kind of my message for today. Earlier I talked a little bit about basketball, and but just accepting and letting go is my message today. When it, in terms of what I'm going through and anxiety, it's just accept and let go and trust. I mean, that's really all I can say. And it's just those three things. I think sometimes we overcomplicate it. Really, it's just that simple. And man, that's my message for today. I'm trying to think of anything else. No, you can't. And but no, I want you guys too to reach out to me and also let me know. I want to do some more live streams. Go live, bring people on. Basically, what that would look like is I would go live at a certain time, and you would see it scheduled. Let's say 8 o'clock on Thursday. And when I go live 8 o'clock on Thursday, you guys can come and join me and come up. I could bring you on. Maybe you could share your story, or we could talk about whatever, sports or anything. We could sit and laugh, have a good time. So please let me know if you guys want to do that. The live streams, because I'll start doing them more. Like I said, I've been talking to some more people too about. I have some guests I'll be bringing on in the future. People that might share their testimonies and just other things going on in the world too. So I'll be planning that. And like I said, if you ever need anything, hit me up. In terms of anxiety or just whatever, I'm here for you. Everybody's here for you. And just take that step, man. Just be vulnerable. And I don't say be vulnerable, just allow yourself to be free. And like I said, I'm going through it too, but I'm allowing myself now to be free. I accept, and I'm letting go, and I trust. And so that's my message for today. And thanks again for tuning in. And hope to see you guys in the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and share this page with people you think need it. Just share the page. We can grow this channel and spread this message of. I think people really need it right now. People need help, and people need to know that somebody else is out there going through what they're going through, or been where they've been, because I was there at one point. And so that's why it's important to share this, and or share your story as well. If I get on a mic, anybody can get on a mic, come up here and talk. So maybe I challenge you guys too to share your stories, and to help, we can all grow together. And so that's a message for today. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Go.